Okay, so this is still Unit 9 for Monday, May 18th, and this is our Part 2. Again, there's all my information if you have any questions about the work or checking answers or anything, because I know it's hard because you're not in class to ask, but feel free to message me on my email, or if you're in my class and you are connected to my WhatsApp, you can certainly reach me there. Now, the first thing I would like for you to do is workbook pages 102 and 103. The workbook is the white book that we use for homework. So if you could go ahead and do that, stop the video, complete it, and then come back and we will check your answers together, okay? So we're going to check the answers for Part 1 of the workbook. You should have stopped the video and completed that. So we're on Part 1, okay? So number 1 is done for you, and we see it's pointing to a light bulb. Sometimes I was looking at this picture, and sometimes it was hard to see what things were pointing to, but we will do the best. So number 2 is the sink. Number 3 is the dishwasher. We're using all the same vocabulary from the previous video. And number 4 is a leak. We see the water coming out from under the dishwasher. It's a water leak. We're on number 5 is a lock. It's a lock on the door. Number 6, we see the girl, and she's taking out the garbage. She has a garbage in her hand. And number 7 is a washing machine. Okay, and number 8 is the dryer. Okay, so there's your quick little answers for Part 1. Let's move on to Part 2. If you need to make any corrections, go ahead and stop the video and make corrections. So we're looking at Part 2. Number 1, again, is done for you. Jenny is taking out the garbage. She is unlocking the door. Her hand is on the lock, right? Her hand is on the lock if she is unlocking the door. Okay, number 3, Juliana is changing a light bulb. She's standing up on the chair. She's changing a light bulb. Number 4, we see Jack is washing dishes in the sink. Washing dishes in the sink. There is water on the floor in front of the dishwasher. Number 6, the dishwasher has a leak. When water is coming out of it, it's got a water leak. There is soapy water coming from the washing machine. Soapy water coming from the washing machine. The clothes are on top of the dryer. Okay? So there's your quick answers for Part 2. Go ahead, stop the video, make your corrections. Like I said, anytime you have any questions about an answer, you are more than welcome to message me, and I will look at it and see if there's any corrections to be made, or if maybe I need to be corrected. Okay, so now we're going to turn to page 103, and we're going to look at Part 3. Part 3, and number 1 is done for you. We're answering the questions. When you do this, I hope you answered in full sentences, please, because this is a level 2 class, right? Okay, how many appliances does Juliana have in her kitchen? She has 5 appliances in her kitchen. Number 2 says, which appliances does she have? Which appliances does she have? Well, in question 1, it said she had 5 appliances. So we know we're going to have to list 5. So she has a washer, washing machine. She has a dryer. She has a dishwasher. She has a refrigerator. She has 1, 2, and a stove. Right? So there's your 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, that's 5. So she has a washing machine, a dryer, a refrigerator, a stove, and a dishwasher. And it doesn't matter what order you put these in, but be sure that there are 5 listed. So number 3 says, how many appliances have problems? How many appliances have problems? 2 appliances have problems. Okay? 2 appliances have problems. And the last one talks about which appliances have problems. Which appliances have problems? It's the washing machine, and the dishwasher. Okay, so the washing machine and the dishwasher have problems. Okay, so now we're going to move on to part 4. I'm going to go ahead and play the 3 conversations for you. And if you didn't already answer the questions, you can certainly answer them while the conversation is playing. Okay? So let's do that.
Unit 9. Daily Living. Page 103. Exercise 4. Track 30. Conversation A. Hello, this is the building manager.
Hi, Jack. This is Steve Bennett in apartment 2A. I've got a problem. The dishwasher overflowed and the sink is clogged.
Is the washing machine okay?
Yes, it's fine. There's no problem with the washing machine. But could you please come over and fix this?
Sorry, Steve. I can't help. You need a plumber.
Okay. Which plumber do you recommend?
Well, I know 2 plumbers. The Brown Plumbing Company and Gamelli Plumbers. Gamelli is better. Call them. They're on Green Street. Ask for Mark.
Can you give me the number?
Sure. It's 555-7896.
Thanks. I'll call him now.
Oh, and Steve, be sure to get an estimate and my okay before he begins the repair.
Oh, right. Thanks for reminding me of that, Jack.
Conversation B.
Okay, I'm going to pause it and let's go ahead and go over the answers for conversation A instead of doing them all at one time. So number 1, it says, who is Steve calling? Who is Steve calling? We know when it says who, it's asking for a person. So the answer is B, the building manager. Okay? Number 2, Steve has a problem with what? The answer is going to be A, the sink and the dishwasher. Answer A, the sink and the dishwasher. Number 3, the better plumber is, who's the better plumber? The answer is C, Gamelli plumbers, okay? So number 3 is C. I'll put the answers up while conversation 2 plays, and you can, if you need to see them or make any corrections.
Gamelli Plumbers, this is Linda. How can I help you?
Hi. May I speak to Mark, please?
Mark isn't here right now. What seems to be the problem?
My dishwasher overflowed. There's water all over the kitchen floor. The sink is clogged too. I'm at 1513 4th Street, apartment 2A.
Okay, thanks. I'll check Mark's schedule. Okay, Mark can be there at noon.
But that's 4 hours. Could someone come sooner? I have to be at work by 9 a.m.
I'm sorry. Mark is the only plumber here today. Can someone wait for him?
Sure. I'll ask my neighbor.
And what is your neighbor's address?
It's the same address, but she's in apartment 2B.
Okay, Mark will be there at noon.
Thanks.
Okay, so that's the end of conversation B. So let's go ahead and answer those questions. Who is Linda? Who is Linda? She was the receptionist. Remember, Mark was calling the plumber to make an appointment. The person, like even when you call the doctor's office, the person that answers the phone is a receptionist. Okay? Number 5, Steve lives on. The answer is C. He lives on 4th Street. And number 6, the answer is Mark can come when? At noon. Noon is also 12 o'clock. Noon equals 12 o'clock. P.M. So like lunchtime, not at night. So noon is 12 o'clock. Just so you know. Make a little note there. All right. Okay, let's go ahead and listen to our third conversation.
Conversation C.
Hello?
Hi, Ms. Ling. It's Steve from next door.
Oh, hi, Steve. How are you?
Not so good. My dishwasher overflowed. There's water all over the kitchen floor. The sink is clogged too.
Oh, too bad. My bathroom sink overflowed last month. Is it the bathroom sink?
No, Ms. Ling, it's the kitchen sink. Anyway, I called the plumber, but I have to go to work now. Could you let the plumber in?
Yes, of course, Steve. What time?
He'll be here at noon. Is that okay?
Yes. I have to go out at 10, but I'll be back by 11. Which plumber did you call?
Gamelli Plumbing.
Oh, I know them. They're good. Is Rob coming?
No, Mark is coming.
Okay, I'll let him in.
Thanks, Ms. Ling.
Okay, so that's the end of conversation C. So let's go ahead and review the answers for those. So number 7 is, who is Steve calling? Who is Steve calling? He's calling A, his neighbor. Remember, he's calling Miss Ling so she can help by letting the plumber in. Okay, we're moving on to number 8. When did Mrs. Ling's sink overflow? When did Mrs. Ling's sink overflow? So Mrs. Ling was talking about her problem, and it happened last month, right? When will Mrs. Ling be back? When will Mrs. Ling be back? She said she would be back at 11 o'clock. Okay, so there are your answers for part 4, and that's all we're going to do in the workbook. So you can put that away and get out your student book, and I'm going to pause the video, clear the screen, and get ready to start in the student book. Okay, so the objective, we're going to start on page 112, is we're going to introduce, making requests, asking people to do things for us or to help us with things. So, like if we were in class, I might give you a pen and say, would you come up to the board and write the answer? Would you come up to the board and write the answer? Could you open the door, please? Could you open the door, please? Will you move to the front of the class? Will you move to the front of the class? So those are things that I might ask you to do in class, right? We respond with, yes, I will shut the door, or yeah, I'll move to the front of the class, or no, I don't, I really don't want to come to the board. So you can answer with yes or no. It's a yes or no question. So, but we're going to practice like asking people very politely to help us with different things. Like, can you close the window shade, please? Can you close the window shade, please? Would you turn on the computer? Would you turn on the computer? Can I borrow your pen? Can I borrow your pen? Will you read from the book? Will you read from the book? Okay, so those are some ways that we can ask some questions. So let's look on page 112. And we see a grammar box, and it says, use can, could, will, or would before the base form of the verb to request help. So this is the way that we talk to people when we want their help. We want them to do something for us, right? We're going to use short answers to say yes or to say no, okay? Can you call a plumber, please? Can you call a plumber, please? And you can say, sure, I'd be happy to. Or you can say, yes, of course. Or if you can't, no, not right now, maybe later. Not right now, maybe later. Sorry, I can't right now. Sorry, I can't right now. So you can say can you call a plumber? You can say could you call a plumber? And the answers can be the same. The answers don't change. You can say, will you call a plumber? Will you call a plumber? And would you call a plumber? Would you call a plumber? And like I said, you can use any of the short answers to answer those questions. So you can kind of use can, could, will, or would interchangeably. There's a little bit of difference in their meaning, but you can really just use any of those 4, and there are 4 short answer typical English polite responses. Okay, so this is the end for part 2. I'm going to make myself small, and I will see you in just a minute for part 3, and we will finish up for Monday. Oh, and I forgot to mention, do not forget to put your name in the comments so you get credit for class. Do it for each video that you watch, okay? I'll see you in a minute.